Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing well. I'm back with a new type of video. This is going to be a kind of a GoPro video at the one sale I go to almost every weekend, probably 3 to 4 times a month. I always mention the guy, the storage unit guy. I spent a lot of money there. The bunch of manuals I bought, the car manuals, were from him. I bought a bunch of video game stuff from him quite a few times. So it's something different, but I wanted to show you guys. I didn't have my strap for my backpack yet, so I was just holding the GoPro and going around. So occasionally my fingers get in the way, so I apologize. But it's a pretty big sale. He buys a lot of storage units. I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what I'm finding, kind of what I'm looking through. His prices are always higher. He knows some of what he has, and he knows that he can make some money off it. He also does a lot of stuff at the swap meet and some of the flea markets around here. So a lot of times he tries to get prices that are more like the higher end swap meet stuff. And sometimes in our area, and it's a little bit hard sometimes to buy from him, but usually the best trick is to buy in bulk. So my GoPro ended up dying about halfway through, so I didn't really get to show you guys all the negotiation or all the stuff as I was picking it up. But at the end, I do show a haul of what I found. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Figured I'd show the little guy here too. Trying to train him up to be a little garage sale guy. So yeah, this is Zane. If you didn't know, he's 14 months now. So he's my little buddy. But hope you guys enjoy the video and let me know what you think. Everyone, you should be seeing some clips now of the storage unit guy that I buy from. You've heard of them before if you've been following my channel. I usually refer to him as the storage unit guy. I don't want to give out his name, even though I just finally learned what it is actually recently. And he buys most of his inventory from storage units, and then he brings it out here on Saturdays and Sundays and has a sale. Usually Sundays, sometimes Saturdays. As you can see, it's just kind of tables everywhere, and I'm just going to kind of show you guys what it looks like and me going through some stuff. Some people have asked more for the perspective of kind of that first person looking at it. That's my son right there. You can see him off to the right. He's usually with me at the sale. He's looking around at stuff. So I've muted all the sound for the actual video because he plays music throughout the time he's there, and the music gets a little loud. I don't want any copyright issues. So you guys should be seeing me kind of walk around. I do have my GoPro. I didn't have the shoulder strap, so unfortunately I'm just holding the camera, so you'll kind of see my fingers now and again come across it. He has all these bins. Usually on the floor, these plastic bins are what he feels is lower inventory, stuff that's not as valuable. All the stuff on the tables is usually stuff he's pulled out. You saw the Mickey Mouse stuff, the collectibles, video games, anything he thinks is valuable, electronics, usually ends up on one of the tables. Right here's a pretty good find. A bunch of bubble mailers, I think they're Scotch bubble mailers. You'll see these. I actually do grab all these and throw them into my pile later. So I can always use those. And then here I'm just kind of looking, my son looking too. He's usually looking for stuff both for himself and to help me out. Here we are at another table. A bunch of shoes, tools. It's kind of somewhat organized, and then at the same time it gets a little chaotic after people have looked at it. I've been buying from this guy for a while. You guys have seen me buy them from him before if you've seen the shop manuals that I bought for $500 around Memorial Day. That came from him. If you've seen some of the big video game scores I've had, those also came from him. So, and I get a pretty big haul today too when it's all said and done. So you'll see that at the end. You see here, these are a bunch of catheters. They actually do sell pretty well. The problem is they're expired, so they're no good. And selling medical stuff, you got to be careful. If it needs a prescription, eBay will take it down. Some stuff will get sold or get listed and get sold, and some of it will get taken down. So it just depends, but it's really not something you want to take a chance on. As you can see, this thing is huge. Even though you haven't gotten a full scope, I mean, you can see all the boxes. It goes for quite a few rows. The footage wasn't great because, like I said, I was just doing it with my hand, and I kept accidentally turning off the thing from time to time. Here's some little pumpkin decorations. Some of these do really well. If you find the older Empire ones or ones that aren't damaged, or they have a cool face on them, sometimes they can sell pretty well locally or even on eBay. So it's worth taking a look at. Here you kind of see me moving through the bins. It was like 90 degrees, and I'm in my jeans after church and everything, so got pretty sweaty out there too, which was kind of gross. Bunch of kind of like flatware and different stuff. I'm really looking for Cutco in here. If you haven't heard about Cutco, look up Cutco. It's a knife brand. They make some other utensils too, but mainly known for their knives, and the knives just do super well. So you can kind of see a lot of people have picked through this stuff because some boxes are emptier than others. There's my son again. That's Noah. He's trying to usually convince me to buy him something. So usually he tries to find something for me, and then he tries to, after he does that, ask if I'll buy him something. It's a pretty cool robot dragon there from like Imagine X or one of those Robo Wowie. I don't know. I didn't even look it up. I probably should have, but I didn't see the remote there. The other day I bought a bunch of the RC trucks from him. I bought the Jeep and the Hummer. Sold the Jeep recently for like 116, so just the body. Bought them all from him. Some old Tonkas. They're not old enough to be really worth anything and not that rare. He had a bunch of Mickey stuff. All these Mickey hats right here. You'll see me come back and pick these. Well, in the haul, I do pick these up. Usually with him, I just make a big bundle deal and I just pay the price, some price for everything. So all kinds of Mickey stuff, which is what he thought was the best stuff he had was the Mickey stuff. There's posters, Batman plush. I'm looking for video games. Usually have to pay up when I buy them from him, but today he really didn't have a whole lot. I think you might see some later in the haul, but for the most part, there was a Need for Speed game. Those usually do okay on PS3, maybe like $10. Skyrim. I didn't really see anything else in here that I wanted to pick up. I do throw, like I said, a couple more in the pile just to grab them. Should have looked at that license plate too. I didn't look at the year on it. I should go back and check, but it's hard to really, look at everything here. There's just so much stuff, and usually I'll look back at, get back home and I'm like, oh, I forgot to check about that one thing. So he has priced stuff like nothing's individually priced. You always have to come to him and ask, and he's definitely a person who, two people could bring up the same item and he'll charge a different price based on you or, whatever he needs at the time. So another clip, we're going down the middle aisle here. It's just chaos, these things. The great thing about these bins is if, like I said, if you pull something out of here, he basically views it as just trash. So it's like a couple bucks, $1, you can always find stuff. I think that tick thing was worth like maybe $15, but I didn't end up picking it up. But yeah, if you find something in here, it's usually better because he won't put much value on it, whereas stuff on the tables, he usually wants a premium for that. So still looking. I think at this point, my father-in-law, he goes with me to these sales sometimes to look for stuff. He was talking to me and asking me a couple of questions. I just didn't feel like editing it out. And then also, I think I was looking up something here on my phone. Yeah, you can kind of see me. I pulled it out. I was looking up something that I had seen. These are a bunch of like insurance type little first aid packages or care kits or whatever. I guess someone must have worked for them. A bunch of linens and stuff, not really what I deal with, but a bunch of junk in there. Keep moving on. There's my son again. Always, he was looking at those juice things because they have like the heads of like different characters and stuff. He used to always buy those when he was a kid. We'd buy them for him. He really liked when we were like, if we were going on a road trip or something, go to the gas station and pick one up. Still looking, hoping to find some gems, but really looks like a bunch of junk for the most part in here. He does have a little store kind of building that you go into as well. Sorry about that little building. That's where some of the really good stuff is. I didn't get the video footage here because my GoPro ends up dying. I didn't charge it enough before I left. And inside there you can definitely find some good stuff. So, looking at this little tower thing there. What is that? The Eiffel Tower or something like that? I don't know. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I was just kind of scanning through, trying to get some footage and also see if there was anything that jumped out. Some of this stuff, though, is duplicative that he's already had for a couple other weeks, because some of it will just toss, but some stuff will leave back out. So I did notice in some of the bins it was stuff I'd already seen before. I grabbed this little cooling fan. I just threw it in my pile. Not really worth anything. But it was brand new sealed, so usually I just throw things like that and then we take a chance on them. You can kind of see, actually the person to my left there was my father-in-law. He's kind of seeing what I'm doing. We always ride together, so usually I worry a little bit about time, but he's super supportive and he always lets me kind of dig around. But he likes to look for stuff too. But usually I'll spend more time because I'm trying to find something that I can make some money on. You can kind of see it gets a little chaotic. Here's a bunch of, you probably have noticed them in a couple images, those scrubs, a lot of Disney scrubs. Some of those actually do pretty well, so you'll see me at the end. I do kind of make a deal for them. Bunch of handhelds, nothing really great. There is a little Yahtzee there. So those used to be, I mean, 25 bucks each used. They've gone down so much in price, but I grab it, just throw it in the pile. And like I said, I do end up getting the bubble millers. You guys don't probably see that, but I pick those up. This is a little cross stitch. It's like a wizard or something like that. One of these wizard cross stitch ones does really well, especially if it's finished. I sold a partially finished one for like 30 or 40 bucks. And I thought this one might be valuable. Because of that, it is finished, but I don't think it's nearly as good, but it still will sell. You'll see it in the haul too. More of those Disney scrubs. I looked up that little decoy there, that little duck. It wasn't a valuable one. It was actually fairly new. So I guess I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe looking something up on my phone, maybe talking to somebody. Sometimes the guy that runs the sale, he'll come over and talk to me too, tell me what I should be looking for, or, look at what I got in my hands and tell me that I got a bunch of gold. So he usually tries to talk up his inventory. He's a really cool guy. We kind of banter back and forth a lot, and he always says I take advantage of him, but I'm like, dude, I pay you the most money. Usually everyone else is spending like $1 or $2, $5. I'm buying like a whole bunch of stuff, so we have a good little relationship there. A bunch of like home good type stuff, not really what I'm looking for, so I usually just kind of scan it real quick. There might be money there. If you guys know about that stuff, let me know, but it's just so hard to know everything, It's, even though I feel like I have a good grasp of a lot of stuff, I still will end up, watching other channels and learning so much. And it's really why, if you are on YouTube looking, don't just watch the same couple resellers. If you have the time, especially if you're newer, try to find a couple, look for, maybe people that aren't so big either, maybe some smaller channels, see if there's anything they can add to you. Because you watch the same person who always picks up the same stuff, you might not get exposed to some of those other things. Some DC shoes there, old camera. I do end up grabbing the DC shoes. I've done well on used DCs for whatever reason. Some of the skateboarders really like them, especially if they're a bit older. The last pair I sold for like 55. They were like a Monster Energy pair. I do pick up those two pairs. You'll see them in the haul. One of them ends up being broke. It's too damaged though, so I had to just toss it. But I threw them in the pile. I don't really think they factored much into the price at the end. Some more Disney stuff, some Christmas stuff. Some of the Christmas Disney stockings do well, some of them don't. A Super Soaker there. Super Soakers for a while there were super hot to sell, but they've kind of gone down. There's some Mickey Crocs. I throw them up there kind of in my pile. Then I find another pair in here. They're not worth a ton, but they are like in a men's 11, I think. And then a women's 9 maybe. I don't know what it is, but something like that. They have a little bit of wear, but overall they're still in good shape, so I kind of throw in the pile. There's my son. He found a hat that he wanted. Kind of always, I don't like to buy on that kind of stuff because I have to wash it. I don't want him to get any, lice or anything like that. So his mom gets pretty weird about that too. So I don't really like to buy hats for him, but he usually always wants a hat, it seems. More just kind of a bunch of crazy stuff here. It's just like this sale is so huge. I mean, I know you guys don't even see all of it, but you can just see even from that image, look how many buckets of stuff there are. Granted, a lot of it is junk, at least for reselling, but there's so much to look through, and you never know what you're gonna find. I found really good jerseys. I found awesome rare video games. Here's another perspective way out there. It goes all the way out there with furniture and kind of bigger stuff. I don't really buy that kind of stuff, but here's some trophies not old enough. Some board games. I don't really like to buy ones that aren't sealed unless they're pretty rare. Here's a sealed puzzle. I do end up grabbing that, throwing it in. Not worth a whole lot actually when I look it up. But like I said, I don't want to have to count a bunch of pieces. Actually, my wife usually counts them, so I shouldn't say that because she's been counting them lately, which is awesome for me, and I appreciate the help. But she usually does the counting, so it's just frustrating. This is a little inside joke here. My father-in-law, you kind of see him off in the corner there in the Hawaiian shirt. He every time we come here, he buys one of those staple gun things. He had one that broke, so he bought one. And then the next time he went, he bought another one. He's like, well, now we'll have a backup. And so every time we come, he almost buys one now, and I was making fun of him that I found it, because it seems like every time we're here, there's at least one of those. He didn't buy it this time, though. He said he found, I think he has 3 now. He said he has enough. So he's looking for a belt sander, though. So hopefully we'll find one eventually here. We're kind of looking at the outskirts, which is a lot of tool stuff. And there's kind of my pile on that table. Here you'll start to see a glimpse. Hopefully you see the profitable thing. You'll see another clip of me coming back here, but it's in that bottom corner, that Goosebump book. Just one book, not worth a whole lot, but there's some more Disney stuff. But I come around to the other side, another clip, and I'll show you. You'll see what's there. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. I did hopefully put in the beginning of the video where the haul starts. So those of you that aren't really interested in seeing all this, I totally understand. Time is an issue for most of us. I mean, I appreciate you guys even looking now. But I have had a lot of people ask me how they want to see the footage of me looking through the stuff and get garage sale footage. I guess a lot of people are doing it. I'm going to try to incorporate it, but the reality is I don't have the time and energy to edit all these videos and stuff. Like this one I have to do a voiceover because of all the music. I don't want to get a copyright strike or anything like that. So not worth taking any chances. Bunch of tools in here. I'm sure there's probably something that someone could find in there. You know, you find something Snap-on, or you know, maybe a nice set, Mac tools or something like that, but I don't really spend too much time looking. I was looking for knives too because I saw a couple of knives in there. I was hoping they kind of had the look of a Cutco almost, but it wasn't. That one too almost looked like a Cutco, kind of, because the handle's a little bit got that rounded middle there, but it's not a Cutco. So yeah, I think you can kind of see my. I don't know if I have a Band-Aid on or if my finger. Yeah, I got 4 stitches in my finger while on vacation. Yeah, there's a Band-Aid there. So if you guys saw that, it's covering that up. It's off now, stitches removed and everything. So it's pretty. It looks pretty good. You have a nice scar story to tell. Got in a knife fight. I both won and I lost because I was the aggressor and the victim. So that's always cool. Good for storytelling with, you know, your friends. A bunch of wires, more tools. This was a big tool day. Usually it's not this many tools, but this time he just had a bunch of tools and wires and electrical stuff. I'm looking at the computer stuff, hoping I'll find like a Logitech trackball mouse or something cool, but nothing. This side in front of me here is, or to the left maybe, you're here, all these are shoes and clothes. Clothes are very unorganized, usually just big piles, so I don't spend a whole lot of time. He usually pulls the jerseys out, and most of the stuff he's pulling from storage units, so it's not that great. You can see his property here, it's huge. Most of it's not high-end stuff. I have found some cool stuff, like a couple of nice jerseys and a couple of nice like jeans and stuff for whatever reason were there, or some nice like 90s band shirts, but most times it's just your run-of-the-mill kind of like Walmart, Target stuff, and it's all used, very unorganized. That's my father-in-law. Hopefully didn't really see him too much. He's a good guy. I don't know if he wants to be in the video though, so. But he's there. He's looking at stuff. He's probably getting bored that I'm still here. Some more Crocs there. They're just destroyed in the bottom. Crocs do sell, oddly enough. Some of them sell really well, especially the more kind of ornate, or not ornate's not the good word, but the cooler designs. There's my son. Try to find me a little Leapster thing. He's a really good kid. He's put up with my garage selling stuff, and sometimes he's found stuff here. He found a bunch of little Einstein stuff, and that I made pretty good money on. And he found Polaroids especially when Retrospect was buying. He found all those. So he's a really good kid, and I appreciate him putting up with his dad always wanting to go garage sales and him being my wingman. So. He's turning 9 now, so I think we're getting to that point where in a couple of years it may not be fun anymore, but I'm raising up another one, so hopefully he'll be ready too. Some backpacks, just looking to see if there's anything cool, but really there isn't. To be honest, like I said, there's a lot of stuff this time that was just junk. And that's the thing, if you buy storage units, this is kind of what you're probably looking at, because all this stuff came from storage units for the most part, and most of this stuff you're not going to be able to sell online. It'd be better for a garage sale because it's just junk. It's not going to have a whole lot of resale value. So that is something to look at too, because I've been thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want to be dealing with this many boxes of just stuff that's really not worth anything. Playing catch right there, my son. I'm looking something up. I don't remember what it was. A lot of times I'll look at something and I won't hold it and look it up because the guy sometimes is like right up on me, and I don't want him to know what I think is valuable or have him get a glimpse of it. So sometimes I'll be like, oh, okay, in my mind I know what it is, and I'll go look it up standing next to something else. It's kind of weird and paranoid, but he sometimes will sneak up on me, and he's like, hey, what are you looking up? You're looking up that whatever, that board game. And I'm like, great, now he saw that it's sold for $70 or whatever. It's happened a few times in the beginning, so a lot of times I'll move away from the item that I want and kind of take a look it up somewhere else. So like I said, maybe that's a little bit overkill, but I'm just hoping I don't want him to know what I know is valuable and how much it's worth, because obviously that's going to affect the price. Almost done here, guys. Again, appreciate you guys bearing with me. These are kind of the last couple tables. I know it's been a long video. That's why hopefully those of you that wanted to skip or have already skipped, and everyone here just wanted to look around at the stuff. If you guys like this kind of video, though, please let me know. If you think it's a waste of time, I'll just do the haul, because I mean, it is more work. But if people are enjoying it, they want to kind of see what I'm looking at and what I pick up, I don't mind. I can also fast forward to make it go quicker, but at the same time, I don't want you guys to miss what I'm seeing. And hopefully I'll have the backpack on, so it'll just be one clip and I'll be able to move through the sale quickly. There's my little guy there helping out, holding my stuff, because these ladies were trying to get my inventory. Granted, I didn't have it set up anywhere to know that it was mine, but at the time we were the only ones there. So we usually show up with this sale at about 1 o'clock, 1:30, because we have church and we go to lunch and everything, so we're pretty busy, and then we show up, and for the most part it's kind of dead. And so I'm sure we missed out on some inventory, but usually he's motivated to sell too, because it's getting closer to the end of the day, and I kind of use that as my tactic to let's make a deal and let me move a bunch of inventory. So these baskets he always lets us use, so we kind of just start filling them up with our junk, and then we actually end up getting a plastic bucket, which is right here. I'm looking here for one of the last tables. Found some yearbooks. I always say I'm not going to pick them up, but then when I find them here, I throw them into my box. I don't really factor them into the price, but a lot of times they'll end up selling eventually. That's my little bucket there to the left, though. It's full of stuff, and I find an Xbox, the Halo edition. Always good to find those. That green one, if it works, it could be over $120. Here's what we talked about earlier. Oh, here are the rest of the Goosebumps. And look, it looks like there's quite a few of them. So I start going through and making a big pile, so you'll see me here. These are great to sell, guys. Usually you want to have, at least probably 15 or 20 before it really becomes worth it. But if you can find them, they do sell. Oh, hidden. Look how many are hidden there. Good thing it was worth digging around, because I found a whole bunch. These actually already... a lot of these already sold. So you'll see me in the haul video, but I'm doing the voiceover afterwards, and I've already sold one batch of those for $54. So I hate to be a spoiler alert, but that's how good they are. And that was for $25. So getting over $2 a book for a paperback kids book is pretty good. Hey everyone, this should be the second clip you see. You should have saw a bunch of clips of the storage unit guy that I buy from. I've mentioned him before. Unfortunately, there weren't as many clips as I would have liked because my GoPro died, but should kind of give you an idea how big his sale is and a lot of the stuff that he has. So I picked up all this that we can see right here from him. All these boxes in one ammo crate that's behind me, so I didn't pull that out. But I want to show you guys what I found and what we ended up paying for everything. So this is a Disney right here. Collectible Porcelain Village. Looks like it's brand new from Kmart in the box. We got a Ford, I believe, radio there. Disneyland Resort, like little bag on the side. This is a Respronix CPAP machine. Unfortunately, you can't really sell the whole machine online. It's a little windy, so hopefully it's not too bad for the sound. But Gotta be careful selling those online. I'll probably just part out the power cord and maybe sell the bag. I don't want to take any chances, but it seems like if you sell the power cord and the bag, you're okay selling those separately. A couple of sealed board games. This is Sorry, the Disney edition, brand new sealed, and Disney 75th Anniversary Monopoly sealed. I threw this bad in. It's a Rawlings Elite stick. I don't think it's worth a lot, maybe like 30 or so. Here's a bunch of garage door stuff. Genie, you can see there's like 20 something of these little Genie remotes, brand new. This is a Lift Master, like the little head unit or whatever it is, the motor, that's there. It's brand new, open box. And then two of these ones, these are Genie, there's the model number. These ones are also brand new. So this is box 1 of 2. It's also the same, I think it's the same one. I opened it though just to make sure that they were actually brand new and not just a resealed box. And then I got all this stuff right here, Goosebumps, which, you know me, I love book lots. I think Andy just sold a whole bunch of them, Parrot Head Picker, so he did pretty well. I threw all these in there. You may have seen a clip of them too, so that was kind of cool. We got some Guitar Hero and dongles. I think this one right here is the PS3 one. I think this one is the one that does the best, so that's cool. And then this one right here, threw a Mizuno glove in there, don't know what it's worth. Some more Goosebumps, a Game Boy Pocket, didn't get it tested or anything, but it's the black one with GFX, which probably not worth anything. I think the Pockets still go for almost 30 if they work, so even if they're broken you can still sell them. Here's the Halo Special Edition Original Xbox. The last one I sold for like 100 and something bucks. I'll clean it up, see if it has, if it works. If it doesn't work, they still sell for parts, I think for like 40 or 50. A couple of yearbooks, even though I tell you guys I don't spend a lot on them, I just threw them in the lot. Those are like, I think from the 80s and 90s, so not too bad. Some Disney Crocs, you may have seen those. I just threw them in. I don't know if they're even worth anything. Here's some Kobe's right here, they're youth. Not bad condition, so we threw those in there. Some more Disney Crocs, little Yahtzee. My son threw this Marvel hat in. A God Bless America puzzle. It is sealed, the box is just a little damaged. Threw that in there. Don't know what this is, it was just brand new, so we threw that in. Some DC shoes, they have some wear, but I've done well on used DCs in the past. Seems like people, if you know, they want to get the same style or whatever, they might buy it. I believe this is the one I sold before, this little Wizard cross stitch. I think they sell pretty well. So if you can find these ones, even if they're like partially done, I think they still sell well. And then I had to pick up these Reese's like peanut butter cup. They're actually hats. I have 3 of them. I don't know where the other one is. I think my wife took it. So I got those. We also got a bunch of these Disney hats. There's a 50 Resort one, a Halloween one, Valentine's Day, Luck of the Irish, St. Patrick's Day one, 4th of July, that ear got a little bent. You may have seen all the bubble mailers, grabbed all those. A glove, Need for Speed, a VHS-C playback, 2 iPod shuffles. They're not new, but with the boxes. Another yearbook. Oh no, there's the other Reese's. I thought she took one. My son threw that game in there. A sealed Disney Yahtzee. Diego, don't know if he's still worth anything. And I think the rest is mostly clothes. You may have seen all those Disney scrubs. I grabbed all of them. Oh, here's a Christmas hat. All of them, and then this jersey. If you don't know, this is Sean Taylor. Played for the Hurricanes and played for the Redskins. Unfortunately, I think he was murdered. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say that's what it was. Don't quote me, but not a big Redskins fan, but I'm pretty sure he was murdered. Which makes his jersey, unfortunately, it actually makes it more valuable. So that's everything, guys. Quite a bit of stuff. I mean, all these boxes. Probably the best stuff is this garage stuff. I think those remotes go for like 15 to 20 a piece, and we got like 20 something of them, so those are good. Similar units up here where my shoe is, those go for like 200, 150, 200 they were selling for, at least are listed. Not a ton have sold, but my model wasn't even up there. And then this one I didn't even look up, I just threw it in. Sealed board games should be okay. The Porcelain Villages do okay. I don't know, got a lot of stuff. A bunch of scrubs, probably like 40 things of different scrubs, all Disney themed. So I'll probably lot them together in lots of 5 and sell them for $30 or something like that. I don't know. It depends on if they're worth more. We'll see. So a whole bunch of stuff. The Xbox, the Halo one's super cool. I ended up paying up for this though. The guy that I go to can never get out of there too cheap. Was $500 for all this. Now for some of you, probably again, it's just too much money to spend. For me, I think the money's there, especially with the garage door stuff. I'm probably looking at $400 in sales just on these remotes. And then if I can get another, on these 3 units, let's say I can get 100 a piece, we're already at, quite a bit of money, probably making our money back just on the garage door stuff. Then everything else will be all the profit. So plus we got free bubble mailers. Not free, but I mean we got those, so who can't use those? I've done well on these Disney hats before. Basically these ones are mostly holiday themed, so I might try to just lot them all together and just say, in a big lot, ask 100. Goosebumps I should do well on, a bunch of shoes. So that's everything. Hopefully we'll have more video of me going to garage sales, and definitely that guy's sale, because he's a lot cooler about me recording. So hopefully I'll be able to show you guys more, and maybe even get a little bit of the negotiation too. So hope you guys enjoy. I gotta pack all this up, or